Switzerland. And I'm reaching out to all of my brothers and sisters on the African continent. You're tuning into Black Hot Fire Radio.
All day, every day. You're listening to the best music.
Feel the freshness.
Happy Thursday, family. How are we doing this beautiful Thursday? I hope everybody had a beautiful, beautiful day, morning, wherever you at. Welcome to the Black Hot Fire Radio Network, media of the 21st century, with me, Irutan Lungoria, on the Africa Today show, with me, Mr. Newsom, with me, literally. Thank you guys for joining us live on BitChute, live on Rumble and YouTube. I hope you're going to enjoy a conversation that we've been having for actually 2 days. So it's a part 3 of a conversation of the 25,000 cycle of time. Super interesting, super engaging. I hope you all been getting a bit of it. But welcome to this beautiful, beautiful conversation today on the Africa's Today show, with me and Mr. Newsom holding it down for Joby. But also, you can remember to download our app on the Google Play Store, stream on www.blackhotfirenetwork.com for amazing healthy supplements, apparel clothing with the Black Hot Fire Radio logo on it. Also, if you're using the computer or the iPhone, remember to stream on www.blackhotfirenetwork.com for amazing healthy supplements, apparel clothing with the Black Hot Fire Radio logo on it. We do have the beanie hats, sandal slides, hoodies, also caps and bags with the radio logo on it. So welcome to our amazing conversation right away this beautiful evening, morning, whenever you're at. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
You're tuning into Black Hot Fire Radio.
You're now listening to the best music.
What is it that they told you? Telling me how to be putting in a gun, telling me how to be putting in a gun. My darling, my darling. Give me your my darling. Give me your my darling. Give me your my darling.
Before we move forward with the music there, Tell My Darling, remember we do have amazing supplements on our website. How are you doing, Jason Hill? I hope you're having a great day wherever you're at. I'm great. Thank you for joining. Kindly let's listen in to the health and benefits of some of the supplements we do have on our website to give you a hint of what you should definitely be accepting or basically expecting as you're ordering your supplements or the apparel clothing. We do have the likes of ashwagandha, multivitamin, beetroot, cool cucumber for the ladies, and shea butter to give you that beautiful glowing skin and also to help you with your hair growth. But right away, right now, kindly let's listen in to the health and benefits of ashwagandha.
Discover the natural power of ashwagandha, an ancient herb known for its healing properties. For over 3,000 years, ashwagandha has been trusted to reduce stress, increase energy, and improve focus. Our ashwagandha is carefully grown, harvested, and processed to retain its maximum potency. Each root is hand-picked and dried, then ground into a pure organic powder, ensuring the highest quality. Simply mix 1 teaspoon into your favorite beverage or take it in capsule form as prescribed by a healthcare professional. Whether you're looking to balance your stress levels, boost your immune system, or enhance mental clarity, ashwagandha offers a natural solution. Experience the benefits of ancient wisdom backed by modern science. Trust nature. Trust ashwagandha. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
90 cents. We also do have multivitamin and its benefits.
Fuel your body with complete multivitamin, the perfect balance of essential nutrients for daily health and wellness. Carefully formulated from natural ingredients, our multivitamin packs vitamins A, C, D, E, plus key minerals like zinc and magnesium to support your immune system and boost energy. Just 1 tablet a day is all you need. Take it with water and feel the difference as prescribed by your healthcare provider. Stay active, stay strong, stay ready with Complete Multivitamin, your daily dose of vitality. Complete Multivitamin, simple, powerful nutrition. Go get this product at blackhotfirenetwork.com at the Sports and Nutrition Store.
$2.90. You'll get yourself some beautiful multivitamin and a beautiful other supplement we do have for you, the likes of Anukamani coffee for $59.90, and also multivitamin ashwagandha. Thank you everybody for joining us this beautiful evening on the Africa Today show. It's a part 3 of the 25,000 cycle of time. And I believe yesterday we were playing a video of the CIA reality of illusion documentary. I believe I'm just going to move forward with this before Mr. Newsome joins me right away.
I was given a glass of Kool-Aid, and so were the other children. This Kool-Aid was spiked with LSD. It was horrible.
In the early days of the Cold War, the CIA ordered the creation of a secret program intended to find ways of mind control. They funded an army of psychiatric institutions across the United States and Canada to perform experiments on unsuspecting patients using psychedelic drugs, sensory deprivation, electroshock treatment, and more. The program was known by its codename, MK Ultra. At the end of the Korean War, a number of freed American POWs came home seemingly brainwashed and espousing communist propaganda. American officials suspected that the soldiers had been subjected to what they thought were new communist mind control techniques. Alarmed by the situation, the newly formed CIA allocated $25 million for psychiatric experiments on human beings.
It was the most secret program ever conducted by the CIA in the United States. Patients at psychiatric hospitals, prisoners in federal institutions, and even people in the public were given drugs without their awareness or consent and experimented upon.
Initial projects within MKUltra included Operation Midnight Climax.
They established what were called safe houses, where prostitutes would lure men to these apartments. And then once the men were in the apartments, they were dosed with LSD. And then they were basically studied by CIA scientists, usually behind a two-way mirror.
Another common practice was the hosting and observing of LSD-induced parties with live music. These parties were called acid tests, and the culture that grew out of them played a key role in the development of the hippie and psychedelic movements a few years later. However, some of the most damaging experiments occurred at the Allen Memorial Institute in Montreal, Canada. There, under the direction of infamous Scottish-American psychiatrist Dr. Ewan Cameron, unsuspecting patients, many of whom had common ailments such as postpartum depression, were experimented on with aggressive drug cocktails and extreme techniques.
My father was a victim of Dr. Cameron. He was a 27-year-old, healthy skier, canoeer, very athletic, and he had asthma. They told him if he went to the Allen Memorial, they could cure his asthma.
My father, Charles, was a patient of Dr. Cameron's. He had a trigeminal neuralgia, it's called, where there's a pain in the temple that radiates into the jaw that apparently is excruciatingly painful. They told him that it was psychosomatic, which it's not, but in those days, what did they know? So they sent him to a shrink. This shrink that he went to was working with Cameron, although we didn't know. So he put my father right into the program.
I was having trouble with my parents. My father and my stepmother decided to put me in the Allen Memorial Institute. They had no idea what went on in there. I was 16 when I was there.
Dr. Cameron pursued a concept he called depatterning, which was meant to reduce pain.
Hello, Mr. Newsome. How are you doing?
I'm all right. How you doing every time?
I'm keeping up.
Okay, that's what's up. What's this right here?
I think the video that we were playing yesterday, I don't know if I got the topic wrong, but it was about the CIA, something to do with illusion.
There's a gate. Yeah, it's called, the reality you live is an illusion. It's a gate, but this is a grand illusion. It's not real. Huh?
It was reality?
This is not reality, Airtime. This is an illusion. You live in an illusion.
No, I'm saying, what was it? I want to type it out.
Oh, it's called the Gateway. Say the Gateway Program.
The Gateway Program. You had a good day? Or you were having a good day right now?
So far, can't complain. It's bad weather. Weather's bad, but you know, that's to be expected sometime. You know, what can you do?
The Gateway.
You can say Gateway Program or a Gateway Protocol. You probably got to put the CIA in front of it, though, because a lot of things are called Gateway. Got to say the CIA
Okay.
Gateway Program or Gateway Protocol.
Should I play the video or you should start the conversation fast?
What video you playing? I don't know what video you're playing.
Oh,
I know
it's
we
the
had a video.
that we were playing yesterday, remember? As we were winding
Okay,
up?
yeah. You can continue with that. Yeah, 'cause that's right. Yeah, I forgot about that.
A declassified CIA document from the 1980s has been uncovered, and it reveals a mind-bending truth. The world around you is an illusion created by your own mind, that there are alternate dimensions waiting for you to access them, and ultimately this information shows you are God. Sound crazy? I've devoted my life to studying consciousness and hidden information, and this is one of the most incredible declassified documents I've ever encountered. The shocking information within reveals a method for accessing other realities and a way to tap into the power of your own consciousness to transcend the limitations of time and space. This is not science fiction. This is a real document, and the secrets it holds are waiting for you to uncover. Now, before we continue, make sure you like and subscribe because I'll be releasing even more information about this document on my channel in the near future. The document begins by revealing the incredible fact that reality is actually an illusion constructed by your brain and the senses. It explains that the brain is capable of constructing a virtual reality through the process of perception.
That's how you manifest things, because everything is in your mind. You have control of everything. You match your vibration with the frequency of things you want, because you create your reality. That's why Africans are poor, because they create the illusion with worshiping this fake God, this fake Allah, this fake Jesus. They stay in poverty because they create their own prison. Because they don't know this ancient African, you know, this is an illusion. The creator doesn't want anybody to live in poverty, be poor. But you're given nonsense, and so you create the nonsense of your world. So you construct your reality is constructed by you. So you construct your fake Christian, Buddha, whatever it is. That's what you live, because your mind creates your reality, because the creator's trying to give you what you believe you think you want.
Right. Shall I continue?
Yeah, go ahead. That's right.
Coherent picture of the world. Think of the brain like a computer that processes programming code to construct a video game world. Well, the document explains that the brain operates in a similar way, but that this process can be transcended or hacked, allowing you to have out-of-body experiences and tap into dimensions beyond space and time. I'll be revealing exactly what this document says about how this works, and by the end of this video, you'll have uncovered what's described as a powerful method for breaking out of the confines of your body and the physical world, and you'll have learned the ultimate truth about yourself and all existence. But first, you have to know something about the Gateway process. Established in 1974, the Monroe Institute is a mysterious research organization that specializes in the study of altered states of consciousness and human potential by pushing the limits of the human mind. The Monroe Institute developed a training system called the Gateway process for for altering brain frequencies to a level that induces altered states of consciousness, allowing one to access hidden layers of reality beyond the physical world. This caught the eye of the US military for its potential applications in military and intelligence operations. And in 1978, they ventured into uncharted territories, evaluating the Gateway process and its potential applications in the art of war. The military arranged to send its officers for training at the Monroe Institute in the art of out-of-body experiences, or OBEs. And as the years passed, the military's fascination with this only grew stronger, leading to a shadowy mission in 1983, where additional officers were sent to the Monroe Institute with the intention of unlocking the secrets of out-of-body experiences and harnessing the power for military purposes. And it was during this time, specifically on June 9th, 1983, the CIA produced a then classified document for the Department of Defense detailing the Gateway process, the illusory nature of reality, other dimensions beyond space and time, and a warning of encounters with non-physical entities. Finally, this document was declassified in 2003. Now it will change the way you look at reality forever. The document begins by explaining how the mechanics of the Gateway process, also known as the Gateway experience, requires an understanding of biomedical models, quantum mechanics, theoretical physics, hypnosis, meditation, and references its association with the occult. And we're going to dive in and explore that process right now. You need to hear this because this will change the way you see reality forever. Okay. The document explains. Fundamentally, the Gateway experience is a training system designed to bring enhanced strength, focus, and coherence to the amplitude and frequency of brainwave output between the left and right hemispheres, so as to alter consciousness, moving it outside the physical sphere so as to ultimately escape even the restrictions of time and space. So what's going on here? The left and right hemispheres of the brain have very different functions. For example, when it comes to speech, the left hemisphere deals with the logical structure and rules of sentences, while the right hemisphere deals with the meaning of the sentences. The two hemispheres working together, combining logical structure and meaning, is what allows us to communicate. Essentially, the Gateway process uses audio signals delivered through headphones to synchronize the left and right hemispheres of the brain to alter the mind, moving your consciousness outside of physical reality. But hold on, you might be thinking, how can the brain move your consciousness outside of physical reality? Isn't your brain and the mind the same thing? And if your brain is physical, how can it move consciousness outside of physical reality? That doesn't make any sense. That's because the idea that this is a physical reality and that the brain produces consciousness is wrong. Let me explain. The document states, solid matter, in the strict construction of the term, simply does not exist. Around you. Everything you can taste, touch, hear, smell, and feel is a kind of illusion generated by the brain. But what about the brain itself? The brain does not generate consciousness. You are not a brain. You are an eternal system of energy, a complex of frequency. The brain is what filters, limits, and conditions you so that you can experience the physical realm. Think of your brain and body not as what you are, but like a vehicle. Think that's crazy? Not according to neurosurgeon Michael Egnor and many like him, who, due to his work with the brain, has concluded there's no way that the brain can create consciousness and has abandoned materialism for idealism, which means he now believes that reality isn't physical, but mental, immaterial. Your brain and body are not what you are. It's what allows
all is mental. See, this is all just ancient African. See, white people just learning what you knew thousands of years ago. The all is mental. Everything is mental. We live in the mind of the all. Everything is mental. This is an illusion, a dream. Their science is now catching up with the Africans told them thousands of years ago. So this is not new. If you kept to your African science, it's not. But you gave up your tradition and your culture. Yeah, I want to be a Christian. I want to be an Islam. Whatever goopy nonsense you don't know. Because this has already been known. African already told you. This is an illusion. You live in the mind of the all. This is not, this new to them. This white guy is new to them. Not new to Africans. New to them. This has been known. that this is an illusion, and the advocates say you live in an illusion, but you have laws that you got to follow inside the illusion, right? You know, you live in an illusion. It's a dream. You still got laws to the illusion. Can't just go jump off a building. You know, the body's going to die and you're going to pop out the body and be a spirit. But there's laws to the illusion, but it is an illusion.
But you
The
believe
advocate
that
said, huh?
you see yourself flying, so you should fly.
But not that, well, no, not that, well, you got to do certain practices of that. You got to be able to, you got to have more knowledge that flying is normal. You got to have the knowledge to do it. You got to be able to manipulate magnetic fields. You got to have more knowledge. You got to be able to do it. You can't just, because you put in your mind and do it, you got to be able to, there's an effort to doing it. Like the effort to making your mind make things move. So you got to have it, that's storing up enough energy within your body.
Right.
The duty to manipulate the field. Everything is energy. So the thing that you need to know that the creator never called no God. The creator universe never kept anything from you. Everything the creator can do, you can do on a smaller level if you raise your vibration. And the more you raise your vibration, you go to other dimensions. When you get as close to God as possible, you will see some entities out here, other dimensions that you would think were God. That's how they come up to Anunnaki, because they're higher in vibration, but they're not the true God, because the other things they can do. You can get so close to God, but you never get there. But they always tell you, as high as you go, certain things you'll never know, because only the creator can know that. That's why your Bibles, all your stuff is all nonsense. There's certain things you're never going to know and never supposed to know. Only the creator can know it. No matter how high you go, you can be able to create worlds, create planets, create suns. There's certain things you still will never know.
Right.
Go ahead, every time.
Just seems that way when you're connected to it, just like a dream seems to be physical and real when you're in the dream. The CIA document states, the point to be made is that the entire...
And that's why whatever you think about most times literally becomes your reality. You know? Like some people don't really see it like that, but...
Yeah, it becomes irrelevant because most people are stupid and don't have that knowledge. Everybody's been dumbed down.
Like, for example, when you're always having, this is like maybe just a short example, when you're having like all these negative thoughts about anything happening, creates like a momentum of negative things manifesting.
That's gonna happen, because your mind creates a reality every time. So if you're constantly thinking negative, that's what it's gonna show you. See, the world is a reflection of your thoughts. See what you see out here happening. It's a reflection of how you are in the inside. The world reflects how you are on the inside every time.
That's for sure.
Being, brain, consciousness, and all is like the universe which surrounds him, nothing more or less than an extraordinarily complex system of energy fields, the so-called states of...
I'm going to read that. The point to be made is that the entire human being, brain, consciousness, and all is, like the universe which surrounds him, nothing more or less than an extraordinarily complex system of energy fields. The so-called states of matter are actually variances in the state of energy, like mind over matter.
Matter are actually variances in the state of energy. According to this document, everything is a non-physical system of energy, including the universe, your body, and your brain. So what is the brain? Well, the brain is still a system of energy, of mind, which has the function of tuning your consciousness to perceive the physical world around you. The document continues. As psychologist Keith Floyd puts it, contrary to what everyone knows is so, it may not be the brain that produces consciousness, but rather consciousness that creates the appearance of the brain. Think of the brain not as what you are, but like a virtual reality headset that you, as an eternal being of frequencies, puts on to experience the illusion of the physical world. A VR headset blocks out the information of one world and gives you the illusion of another world. Well, the brain acts in a similar way. Well, why would your brain do this in the first place? Why would it force you to tune in and focus on only this so-called physical reality and exclude all other information? Because it evolved that way to ensure your survival. If a creature was focused on, let's say, the state of an electron spin on the other side of the universe, a predator would easily hunt it down and eat it. Aldous Huxley said, "Each one of us is potentially mind at large, but insofar as we are animals, our business is at all costs to survive. To make biological survival possible, mind at large has to be funneled."
Africans are not animals. See, these are white people. No, Africans are not animals.
Is a measly trickle of the kind of consciousness which will help us to stay alive on the surface of this particular planet. The idea that the brain does not create consciousness, but rather limits and focuses the mind on the so-called physical universe is known as brain filter theory. And that's exactly what this document is stating. You are not a brain. You are not physical. You are an infinite being of energy, of frequencies, that's having an experience of the so-called physical world, but it's not physical either. It just seems that way. All reality is actually a kind of internal hologram. The Gateway document continues. The universe is composed of interacting energy fields, some at rest and some in motion, and it is, in and of itself, one gigantic hologram of unbelievable complexity. According to the theories of Carl Pribram, a neuroscientist at Stanford University, and David Bohm, a physicist at the University of London, the human mind is also a hologram which attunes itself to the universal hologram. Now, I need to make something very clear because I feel like I'm going to get a lot of comments about this. It's important to understand the universe is not an external hologram. It doesn't get projected out there like in sci-fi.
Internal.
Rather, it gets projected internally.
Exactly, it's internal.
It mentions a hologram. Remember that it's not a hologram that's projected externally that you could put your hand through like in movies. It's an internal mental hologram that's solid and interacts with every physical sense, including touch. To understand that better, think about when you go to sleep and dream. You can think about your dream as an internally projected hologram. It actually is. Reality is a system of mathematical frequency patterns that are mental. They're not physical. And they create an internal hologram within itself that, when you're tuned into it via the brain, can not only be seen, but also touched, tasted, heard, and sensed in every way. According to this document, the Gateway process works by hacking the brain, so to speak, by synchronizing the left and right hemispheres of the brain in such a way that it begins to lift the filtering function that keeps you tuned into the physical universe and allows you to have out-of-body experiences and experience other dimensions. According to the Gateway document, this is known as clicking out, and it's done by getting the brainwaves to oscillate at a frequency below a distance known as the Planck distance, which is a fundamental concept in quantum physics, named after one of its founders and Nobel Prize winner, Max Planck. This exact distance is 1.6 times 10 to the negative 35 meters. And according to the document, when the brainwaves reach a frequency at this level that is nearly continuous, consciousness clicks out and enters a new world. In fact, Max Planck himself said this over 100 years ago. As a man who has devoted his whole life to the most clear-headed science, to the study of matter, I can tell you as a result of my research about atoms this much. There is no matter as such. All matter originates and exists only by virtue of a force which brings the particles of an atom to vibration and holds this most minute solar system of the atom together. We must assume behind this force the existence of a conscious and intelligent mind. The mind is the matrix of all
It's
matter.
the creator. Exactly. Matter does not exist. Atoms are atom. Atoms are nothing more than empty space, guys. We know with atoms fly around, nothing more than empty space. So there's no there. Everything you touch and feel is just an illusion. There's no there. So the brain makes you believe you're touching something when you're not. It's all illusion. You know, when you look at an atom, there's nothing inside the atom, nothing there.
Right.
Go ahead.
reality. But what does Planck mean by a conscious and intelligent mind being behind all reality? That sounds a lot like God, doesn't it? Well, things are about to get intense because while explaining the process of clicking out to another reality, the document introduces the idea of God known as the Absolute. Between the Absolute and the material universe in which we experience our physical existence, various intervening dimensions to which human consciousness in altered states of being may gain access. The Absolute is conscious energy in infinity, that is, without boundaries. It occupies every dimension to include the time-space dimension in which we have our physical existence, but we cannot perceive it. It is the Absolute. According to this,
Pause it. That's why all your goofy religions, he's letting you already know you can't interact with God, can't perceive it, you don't vibrate high enough. So all your goofy religions, you just came and talked to me, and all it was all lies. Creator, you can't talk to the Creator. Creator's not talking to you. It's made up nonsense. Go there, Tom.
Where are you? You sound like you have a cold.
No, I'm all right. A little tired.
Okay. Sorry.
Sorry, I'm tired.
Yeah. Lots of water.
This energy permeates everything and is responsible for everything. Let me explain. Since this is a reality of mathematical frequencies of energy, it's a reality of waveforms. Now, these are not physical waves, they're immaterial waves of mind. Now, all waveforms, no matter how complex, can be broken down into simple, basic waves known as sinusoids. In other words, sinusoids are blocks of reality, make everything up. Think about Legos, for example. You can construct amazingly complex structures with simple Legos, but you can break down those structures into the individual basic blocks that make it up.
And so pause it again. So the African understood this thousands of years ago. So what he would do something called libation. And then he would take libation. So he knew he couldn't talk to the Creator directly. But there was a way to get his our thoughts up to the Creator by using waveforms. So what they would do libation. And if anybody's heard libation, that's African. So
at least we were taught that in our history books.
You were taught that what? Say it again,
At least we were taught about libation in our history books.
Oh, well, that's good. Okay, so the African is so brilliant. He knew there was a way to get messages up to the Creator by using waveforms. And so using water and a vibration, it would create a wave, and water and vapors interdimensional. So they would use that as a waveform to get up to the Creator. And so that's why they would talk through the water, and that would turn into waves of intent to talk to the Creator. It's just so, the Africans are fucking brilliant. White man, is this devil worship? What is this stuff? We know it works. They've already, everything we've done, they now researched. So your ancestors who were scientists, this stuff works. Your goofy religions don't. So everything they told you this is an illusion. African knew this thousands of years ago. This is an illusion. African told you, you are the Creator. You're part of the Creator. You're not supposed to work while the existence is inside of you. You're not supposed to be worshiping anything outside of you. Anything trying to control you, it's a lie. Or sin and hell and all this old crazy made up nonsense. It's a lie. So now the white man's finally catching up with science. So, these Africans, everything they said was true. But they ain't gonna tell you. Because this African spirituality, this science he's talking about, this is African spiritual science.
Right.
Already known thousands of years ago. That most Africans have now turned their backs on. Cause okay, I don't go lie, you were beaten. Of course, you was beaten and whipped to believe something else. I get it. But people bring it to you, and you're still scared of it. But go, but go ahead, Airtime.
Right.
Amazingly complex structures with simple Legos, but you can break down those structures into the individual basic blocks that make it up. The same idea goes for something like a brick house. The house is a complex structure, but you can break it down into its individual bricks.
Okay.
Well, the same thing goes for waveforms. Even a wave structure as complicated as the universe itself can be broken down into individual waves known as sinusoids. They are the building blocks of existence. The Gateway document is using the term the absolute to refer to the infinite energy that gives rise to the
It's like
entirety
the
of
video,
existence.
Mr. Newsom, there's a video I can remember that you showcased about waves and how you attract whatever you're thinking about. The way it attracts to you, and then
All right.
yeah, I can remember the topic of that video, but I remember you showcased that video about wave motion. It was showcasing how energy moves when you're actually
Okay.
meditating and basically attracting whatever you're trying to manifest, the way it comes to
Okay.
you. Yeah.
In
That's
other
what's up.
words, the energy that is responsible for all creation. But get ready because this goes even deeper. The term the absolute was popularized in the field of philosophy in the 19th century by philosopher Georg Hegel. So what is
See,
the absolute?
you see how they try to rename everything, make it to a white face? This don't go for no Hegel, what the hell he's talking about. This is ancient science. This goes back thousands of years before anybody 100 years ago. This is how white people they steal your science and they put somebody's white name on it. See how they do it?
Right.
They know this. They know this information goes back thousands of years because they stole all our manuscripts. They'll tell you this goes back to somebody. Everything they say goes back to somebody white 100 years ago because they have reintroduced and now found it to be so. This knowledge has been known forever. Forever. You got the Buddhists who were taught by the African, told you this 2,500 years ago with the Buddha dude, but that's ancient to them. But it goes way before him because they were taught that. You know, all I'm saying is an illusion. Hinduism teaches this is an illusion. So now they always steal your knowledge and say, oh, this person, whoever Airtime just said 100 years ago, is responsible for the knowledge. Yeah, but this knowledge is over thousands of years ago.
Even the inventors of everything that we're using right now. But also, Mr. Newsom, you can't blame Africans. You can't blame them because it was hidden away, stolen away. You know? And then they had to adapt to the new way of living, the new way of worshiping, you know?
Okay.
Because you are born into this reality, how things work, and you're like, okay, this is how things work, and you have to follow into that path. You know, until you start asking questions. And then, you know, as you always say, when the student is ready, the messenger appears.
Teacher will appear.
Yes. So I also wouldn't blame how Africa or Africans are, because a lot of the things or the system in regards to culture, traditions, spirituality, a lot of us were actually born into it, you know. And there's also a lot of fear that was instilled into a lot of us, you know, into our upbringing or our upbringing, because you're like, don't question this, don't question anything, and you're like, okay, cool, you're so young, little, you know, you're just a child. So that's how you grow up until maybe you start asking questions.
But that was always anti-African. How did the people that said you must ask everything, in and everything, now return to not ask questions? Because the ask questions were African. Africans were the ones who created science. So you see, we had to ask questions to create math, science,
right?
Algebra, geometry, architecture. You had to ask questions. Astronomy. So how did I'm just asking, how did because Africans were considered what they called the sage race, Airtime, ancient times.
Right.
Sage means the most intelligent, smart race of people. How did the smart race of people now become morons? And now raising a culture saying, don't ask questions. That's anti-African. The African was always, how does this work? How does this work here? So African was always about asking questions. So
And
it happened through colonization?
I believe in asking questions, honestly.
I know, that's what I'm asking. But how did it become the culture that Africans don't ask questions now? How did that happen? Okay.
Religion, honestly.
Hmm.
Religion?
Of course.
Yeah.
I agree.
Brought up in a household where you're free to actually be anything you want to be, you know. But most
I was doing.
of the people have not been brought up in a household like that, you know.
True.
You're forced into a lot of things that you don't understand, and if you don't do it, there are consequences. Mostly religion, honestly.
That's true.
Yeah.
So it means we were, our consciousness was hijacked by a lower group of people, like this white guy you're showing. It means our consciousness was hijacked through brutality, through colonialism and slavery, right? That's what that means. Because they told you everything now they're telling you there is now good and what really is. They told you that what he's saying was witchcraft and wicked and evil. Because this don't go back to this dude. He said, this is ancient African science here. So you can find this on all ancient African texts. What he said, this has been known.
Right.
For thousands of years, this is known. This is every African spiritual tradition that you live in illusion. Africans would what? Celebrate death. They wouldn't, the white people, now you got their culture. You mourn it. Oh, Africans didn't mourn people dying. They know there was no such thing as death. They know this was an illusion here at time.
Some cultures do celebrate it.
I'm talking about the most of them, but don't you got funerals now? Don't we got funerals now in Africa? Every time don't we go to funerals and cry and all that shit now?
That happens a lot.
Of course, that's not our culture. Because we knew what he's saying. We already knew that this was an illusion, that there was no such thing as death. We knew this. We knew this every time. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,000 years ago. Even before that, really. But those are from the other writings I know, from the Book of Annie and other manuscripts. We already knew this is an illusion. So, not this shit he said. Oh, some white man figured it out 100 years ago. What? Come on.
Right.
How what these psychopaths do? And shout out to the guy who said, who's better find something? Mention this too, because they never, you're right, they never, I'm sorry about that, he got me in that biscuit.
What, papayas?
From Popeyes, damn right. That's
right.
Right.
Pops into my mind. Actually, everybody's mind.
So, that's why you tell you, and I've been saying that there are no truth tellers. There are no white truth tellers. You got a channel with white people telling the truth. No, they don't. There are no white truth telling channels because everything goes back to black, and they don't like that. They don't like to admit that. They don't know. When I know told the truth years ago was 150 years. It was Gerald Massey told you everything is black. Everything goes back to blackness. Black people created all this stuff. Black people created all of it. That's the only white man that told the truth. From the books called The Book of the Beginnings, Volume 1 and 2. Go read that. From Gerald Massey. He's the only white man I know that ever told the truth. Everything goes to black. But none of these people on the internet will ever tell you that everything goes to black. They don't want to have nothing to do with that. Say, you know everything goes to black. Like him. He's telling you some truth. He didn't mention nobody black. This white guy. This didn't come from the CIA. CIA just learned this 40 years ago. This has been known. This is illusion. So all the stuff he's saying, he wants to name white people and make them the pejorative, make them the prognosticators of this information. They want to put a white face on ancient African science because it's new to them. But they know that the African always talked about this. Just like we were talking about yesterday, the day before yesterday, about Sirius B.
Right.
White people didn't know Sirius B even existed because they didn't have no telescopes. But the African knew that because the African could leave his body. The African could go around the universe, tell you what planets here, what planets there. They get, how do you know this? How are you able to do this? How did you do this? Right? So they eventually tried to say it was some white person that came across Africa and told these Africans how to do that. You know, where was that star at? Sirius B. And you know that's a lie. They want to take credit for everything you know because they don't know anything. See, that's why their religion is not going to last, because a lot of them are now dumping it because they now waking up and know their own religion is a lie, right? So because they were indoctrinated with the garbage too for control. But they never go back to black. They never go back to the originators of all this information. They never do. They never want to go back to where it actually comes from. Oh, it's whatever this guy said. Ayrton said Johannes somebody in 1825. Yeah? Is that right? That's a lie. This knowledge is already known. The Moorish science talked about this too. The Moors knew this. So how's that? That's 1,500 years ago. The Moors, when they went to Europe. What do you mean? What are you talking about? That's all your educational system that the Moors. That's Moorish science. They're not gonna mention those people.
Ever,
Ayrton. Ever.
I knew the Moors through you. I never had the Moors. Ever.
Of course not.
I got to know about the Moors through Mr. Newsom.
Of course not. You weren't supposed to know about them. Not made to know about them. I didn't know about them until I was a grown man either. Like 20, 21. No. I was young. I was in college, so now I was like 19. I was like 19. So, let him finish airtime.
Okay.
Like the kind of God you'd hear about in religion. It's us.
Exactly.
According to Hegel, reality is not material. It's actually structured mind. Sound familiar?
Exactly. See, look at it. So, according to Hegel, now we know Stowe through the Emerald Tablets wrote about this mostly 50,000 years ago. 50,000 years ago. Here we go again. Anunnaki. Thoth, the African, the black man, told you that the all is the mind. Oh, did I lose your time?
No, just
okay.
I'm here.
You right? Okay. So they name all these white people for stuff that's been known. That this is an illusion. You got laws to the illusion, though. That this, name all these white people that just tell you this two days ago. This has been known. That we live in the mind of the all. And all religions are fake and phony. Because they have you looking for a God outside yourself. When the creator resides within, you got to go within, not out. In. You go inward. Anything outside you, Christianity, Islam, it's fake. The creator resides within you. And the creator's not, you think creator's not looking for you to worship it. He, she, or whatever, more than male and female, more than that. Then, you got bad people looking at some white man with a beard in the clouds nonsense. Creators man and female, most likely all female, since that's the first. It seems to be the first person that's made around the planet. I mean, around the universe. So that seems to be the main thing. But their brazen theft is always crazy. They just see. So he's not in truth. Their brazen theft. They never put a black face on any of this. Everyone knows where it comes from. We know this. But they told black people this is all witchcraft and craziness. And you didn't know and the African, of course he would beat until we get it. We were beat, we were forced into these religions, we get it, I get that. But at some time you gotta take back yourself. Go there, Tom. You can finish him up.
Okay.
And the entire process of evolution, the creation of the universe, and history is the absolute coming to know itself through itself. In other words,
exactly.
What seems
the all was trying exactly. The all spread itself out throughout the galaxy, throughout the universe, and broke itself down. It didn't want, because if you already know everything, what fun is it to create and then know the outcomes? So it created like this video game, this illusion where it can break itself into all these different pieces and live as different people throughout the universe. And to bring back all these experiences back. Otherwise, no hell. He's not going to kill you and God's mad at you, something nonsense. Because God created this whole video game you're in. This illusion. It wanted to experience itself outside of itself. So how does it do that? It breaks itself down into everything. So everything has the spark of the creator in it, but not the creator. You understand? So it's like an ocean.
Right.
You take a cup and put yourself and take some water out of the ocean. That's a little part of the all of the ocean. So that's what we are, a little part of God. So God has experienced itself through itself. And all because it wants to live with all these things, these emotions and experiences, and we're giving it back to the creator. And it's obviously and African texts have been talking about this. Why does the all create? Remember, this is ancient text, what he's talking about. Go to the Emerald Tablets of Thoth, which is written supposedly 35, 50,000 years ago, as they say. Because the all is trying to experience itself on different levels. You know, the roach, the fly, that's the energy of the all. It's not the all, but it's the energy of the all. Everything is just the all of it. All of it. That's why everything that's organic is living, has consciousness. That's why you can talk. That's why trees can talk to you. See, they thought that was crazy when they said they came to Africa, Africans were talking to trees, because the tree is a living being, and you can talk to trees, and you can talk to animals. These are facts. They couldn't do it because they're low vibrational beings created. I'm not gonna go with we're not going to that, but they're low vibrational, but you are high vibrational beings. And why you love everybody. But every time I told me, I can't hate anybody. Because that's her love as an African. Because most Africans can't hate. It's not our nature. So, because we're high vibrational beings. We're the closest thing to God on this planet. Except when you start worshiping things outside yourself. The church is a low vibrational entity. The mosque is a low vibrational place. When you're in there, you're full of negativity, all kind of, you're going to hell if you do this, don't do that. That's not how the universe works. Creator's here to experience everything. Love, betrayal, all of it. And raise itself back up to itself. Because there is no harm, there's no foul in anything. Hate to tell you that. There's no sin. That's made up nonsense from morons. All is, you're here to have experiences, and all these experiences go back and as the Emerald Tablets tell you, just the sure thing of creation, because nothing can make the all move unless it wanted to move. There's no outside force that can make it move because it's everything. So we say we surmise the all did this because it wanted to do it, because it brings it joy to create, to have these experiences come back to it.
Right.
It brings it joy. Go ahead, Tom.
Is the ultimate reality and truth, and the entire process of evolution, the creation of the universe, and history is the absolute coming to know itself through itself. In other words, it projects what seems like a physical world from itself and then inserts itself into its own self-generated world.
Exactly.
Human beings.
And mind.
Words,
exactly.
absolute experienced the world that we generated. Now, the absolute isn't actually self-aware yet. You see, it doesn't do this knowingly. It's like it's asleep and dreaming, and unconsciously creates a dream world and then inserts itself into its dream through human beings. And so
they all does know it's doing this. See, that's the white people nonsense. He all does know what it's doing. It does know it's doing this. It knows it's doing it. It's not dreaming and doing it. It knows it's doing this, creating this world and learning itself and bringing it joy. It brings it pleasure by creating worlds and living out the drama of the world and up in multiple dimensions of space and time. So, yes, is this like a dream? Yes, because it's an illusion. But y'all constructed the illusion on purpose. It's not an accident, it is. He does know what it's doing. See, but all you didn't say that. See, that's when they out of line. They project their own lack of humanity, or because I can't really call him a human being, into the mind of the all. You can't perceive to know the mind of the all. See, it doesn't do that because it exists. So we know it's doing it on purpose. This is intentful. It's not accidental that he created this illusion and decided to experience the illusion. Him, herself, mostly her, because we know most of the universe is feminine. So most likely God is more feminine than masculine. See, that hurts the white man and all these other people that hate women. You know, the creator is mostly feminine than masculine because the universe is like an egg, a female. So we know that. So we say more masculine than feminine, but both masculine and feminine, because energy is masculine, magnetism is feminine. So it decided to create this illusion to experience it. It's not, all it's not doing is because it doesn't know what it's doing. What are you talking about? It's just like a dream. It doesn't know it did it. It knows it did it. That's why it's so intricate. That's why it's enjoying it. Crazy white people talk again. Can't get nothing from them. Don't know what the hell they're talking about. They steal our science, then try to repackage it back to us. Crazy. Y'all does know what it's doing. It did know it did this on purpose. Created this illusion on purpose, and it's multi-dimensional. We're just in the third dimension. It goes 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. How many dimensions it goes? Probably goes up to infinity. Because the all is infinity. The all is infinite. We can't even conceive that. Always ended. The Alpha and the Omega always been here. It's never not existed. Right? Because our mind would say, well, who created the all? And we can't even fathom that. But I say, well, okay, if God he's always been here, or she's always been here, who created her? Nobody. Always existed. Always. Beginning and the end. It's never, and there is no end. Right? It doesn't end ever. So that's why you knew it was never no death, and you just enjoyed the ride with the all. You know, you're supposed to live lives in other dimensions and other planets, and other galaxies. You know, but we were hijacked by another entity too, though. Go there, Tom.
All right.
That it's doing so. It gets lost in its own dream world. In other words, humans are the absolute, but don't know it. The absolute only becomes conscious when humans realize that's what they are. You are the absolute, but you don't know it. But you could. You could know it right now. You could begin to wake up to the reality.
Africans are the absolute. Africans, see, just where the signs goes off the railroad. Black people are the absolute and don't know it. These other people are energy, but they're damn sure not the absolute. That goes deeper. See them? See how they got those writings. See, they go past those writings. The African is the absolute. These people are not. The East Indians, the Asians, the Caucasians are not the absolute. The African is the absolute. The African is created by God, but the African has no animal genetics. The African is the absolute. Right? Vibrates. That's why the Africans what loving and kind. Doesn't know how to be racist.
Right.
African is the absolute. And they know that. We're all the absolute. No, you're not. Because African has what? Genetics of what? Melanin. Melanin is ether from the creation of the universe. And why do all people that are supposedly part of the like you said, the source or the all or whatever you use, we said all. Why do they all hate African people? All of them. All these non-African beings have contempt and hatred for African people. All of them. To a fault. Caucasians hate us. Asians hate us. East Indians hate us. Why is that? Because by his logic, you understand, the African is the first person on the planet. So if we all were in tandem with the all, your first thing was to show reverence to the African, because that's the all's first creation. These are facts. So something is off with your definition. Because the African is the first being that the Creator created. These are facts on this planet. You people just got it 2 days ago. So if that's the case, why is it all creating you guys with so much hate for its first creation? Does that make any sense? And you all do it uniformly. Asians hate African people. Caucasians hate African people. East Indians hate African. These are facts. And you want to not, I'm not saying every Asian, every Caucasian, you got 2 or 3, so what? I'm talking about the majority. I'm talking about them as a majority, as a group. These are facts. Just by the behavior. So don't go crazy with me. They tell you themselves. Because you know why? Because it's the jealousy that the African carries the source code of the Creator. How about the African can download information through his melanin? Remember they told you hate your blackness. Your blackness is bad. Your blackness is God. See, he don't mention that because he don't got that. He don't mention that.
Right.
He don't mention that part. Yeah, it's exactly right, Jim. It's jealousy. The jealousy is deep because they know, especially now they know they studied all this. You're never gonna release it, and that's why I want after Airtime plays this video, I want Airtime play the last video that I sent you.
Okay.
Because they're never gonna tell you the truth. Never. They're always gonna leave out the blackness because they know what the blackness is. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead, Airtime. Finish him up.
You are God experiencing its own world, and all of us are doing the same thing. The Gateway process states, we have implied that this universal hologram is the finite embodiment in active energy form of the infinite consciousness of the Absolute. It is the title we assigned to that vast pool of energy in a state of perfect rest over which the physical universe is layered and from whence it comes. Our consciousness, therefore, is that differentiated aspect of the universal consciousness which resides within the Absolute. Human consciousness is able to separate from physical reality and interact with other intelligences in other dimensions within the universe. That it is both eternal and destined for ultimate return to the Absolute. The document.
You understand? Pause that, Joby. Only people that
projects itself to explore.
Pause that. Only people that's interdimensional Africans, because we know the interdimensional corridor is what? Through the pineal gland. Nobody told you in your Bible, I seen God and it is the pineal. Europeans, unless they got black genetics, some do, because you black people been sleeping with them. Unless you got a functioning pineal gland, which Africans are the only people that do, you're not interdimensional nowhere. Because we know that the portal to other dimension goes through your pineal gland. And their pineal glands are calcified. These are facts again. These are not my facts. These are facts. The majority of white people's, that's why they're so wicked, because Be close to God, you must have a functioning pineal gland, Iraton. Their pineal glands are calcified. So whoever created them did that on purpose to make sure they were always detached from true source, true creator, or whatever he's calling the creator. I forgot what is he calling it? Something else. Whatever he's calling it. So put us up here, Tom, real quick.
Okay.
Say most, because they're gonna lie now. They used to show up, but I bet Google gonna lie now. Let's see it. Say most Europeans have a calcified pineal gland. As they learn this, let's hear a lie as they learn all this. Say most. What does it say?
While it's true that pineal gland classification is more common in older individuals, especially in Western countries, it's not accurate to say
See, now
that.
it's not accurate no more. It's Western countries, so we know that's Caucasians. But now, go ahead. Now it's not accurate to say this anymore, Iraton. These are see how they switching everything up now. Now it's not accurate. Now, read that. Now it's not accurate to do what, Iraton?
It's not accurate to say that most Europeans have a classified pineal gland. Studies show a significant increase in classification with age, but it's not universal. The systematic review by Biomed Central found that about 61.65% of individuals in their studies had pineal gland classification, but this varies greatly depending on age and other factors.
So now it goes down to 61, which is still the majority of them, right? But now it only goes to 61. We know it was always 85, and the 15% was because of the mulattoes, right? The mulatto white people who got African genetics. Okay? We know it's 15% of white people run out here with African DNA that we don't know. They look white, but they actually got African genetics. Those are those 15%. But if you're a true red-blooded, all white person, your pineal gland is calcified, Iraton. Regardless of what they're talking about. Well, not to say all. A lot of them do, but not all. And it's not fair to say all. The majority do. And so they told you that without even telling you what is the significance of the pineal gland, Iraton.
Mm-hmm.
So he's telling you about being interdimensional. Not with a calcified pineal gland, you don't. Your pineal gland is the energy that God gave you to allow you to go interdimensional, Iraton. The African, before he had this man, it goes back to the diet again, Iraton. If I go back to the diet, alkaline diet, you're going interdimensional, Iraton. Your pineal gland is open and functional. That's why you want to give you bad food again.
Right.
Your pineal gland, they know it's interdimensional, Iraton. That's the gateway to other dimensions. So now they're trying to tell you, well, not everybody's pineal gland in the West is calcified, Iraton. Not everybody. They didn't give a damn about it until they knew about it. That's when they were honest. Yeah, mostly everybody in white pineal glands calcified. So when your pineal glands calcified, means you have no attachment, Iraton, to what they call the creator of everything.
When it's calcified, right?
Yes, while you're wicked and evil and you're able to steal.
Okay.
Able to rape and steal. So do this for me real quick.
Okay.
That's where we're going. Ask Google, say, is the pineal gland interdimensional? They know all this. Sure to tell you this in your Bible or your Quran.
The idea that the pineal gland is interdimensional is a popular concept in some spiritual and alternative medicine circles, but it's not supported by scientific evidence. The pineal gland is a small pine cone shape endocrine gland located in the center of the brain, and its primary function is to produce and regulate the hormone melatonin, which is crucial for sleep, wake cycles, and circadian rhythm.
Okay,
Yes.
now listen to this. This is how you catch them in a lie every time. Okay? This is how you catch them in a lie. I'm gonna try to catch them when they just lied to you real time, right? So let's break it down.
Okay. Should I move?
So
Continue?
that's what. Stay right there. So they told you it creates melatonin, right? That's melanin. That creates melanin. So we know there's this calcified because there's don't create melanin every time. Okay, not EU melanin. Okay, so since they said they don't know anything, so we know the pineal gland creates melanin, right? Because they admitted themselves. See, this is how you go around the lies if you're knowledgeable enough. So, what is melanin? So let's ask Google this. Say, is melanin a conductor of light every time? Let's ask Google that. Say, is melanin a conductor of light? Is melanin a conductor of light?
No. Melanin is not a conductor of light.
What? Now, where they say you would always get yes, melanin is a conductor of light. But what does it say? What does it say? This is crazy.
So they're saying no, melanin is not a conductor of light. Instead, melanin is a pigment that absorbs light, particularly in the UV and visible
Absorbs light. That means it's a conductor of light. Now they're trying to change. So they change things quick. So yes, it's a conductor of light here. It's absorbed light. It's a conductor of light. Okay. Since we know it's a conductor of light, see, this is how they lie. See, wow, they're on the move, guys. We know melanin's a conductor of light every time. It draws in light. White people reflect light. We draw it in, absorb light. That's conductor. That's how. That means it conducts light. So they, So we know, as this white man just told you, the universe is nothing but light waves every time. Right? That's what he told you. The light waves, the universe is light waves, right? So being light waves, he's telling you that there's light waves, all the universe is light every time. So there's light and other frequency, which means other dimensions. Because the frequency, dimensions are based on frequency every time.
Right.
Different frequencies, different dimensions. The higher the frequency, the higher the dimension. The lower the frequency, the lower the dimension, and the lower the consciousness. So we know melanin being a conductor of light made from your pineal gland. So that we know that your pineal gland is making the melanin so you can to transduce other realities, other dimensions every time. We know that melanin absorbs light coming from the pineal gland. That means your pineal gland is making it so you can be what? Interdimensional every time. They're trying to cover it up for you. They're trying to lie to you. You got to go around and understand. That's why you got to learn all of it now. Because now they're trying to teach you nonsense. They don't want you to know none of it no more. And that's why they don't admit. See, because their illusion every time. Let me explain. So when they die, say, oh, we can go anywhere, they can't. They're stuck in the illusion, what we call the astral plane. It's the lower realm of this illusion here. So they're not able to go back to what we're talking about, true source. Because this earth was created by what we call a demiurge, prototype of your devil. And so when you die every time, there's another illusion you're still in. It's called the astral realm, astral plane. It is an illusion. So this entity created this astral plane to trap your soul and to keep you coming back here, reincarnating over and over again. So this part of the galaxy is a soul trap, where we keep dying and coming back, never knowing who we are. because it's entities, lower vibrational entities, Irritan, since we're number energy, that feed off our energy, that feed from us. So every time you die in your life, they say you go to this fake heaven, see, and you believe in the Jesus Allah, so you'll meet the Jesus Allah, and you'll go to this, what they call the astral realm, like him. That's where they can go. See, they're not from true source. So they can never go, like, doing that gateway protocol you're going to read, there was a barrier that they could not go through because they're only created in the astral plane, in this illusion. We are, before the illusion, Irritan, we are true source, true one, true all. So we can go out of the illusion, Irritan. They can't. So when they tell them, whenever you hear these guys, oh, my near-death experience, I died and I went to heaven and blah, 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 and I left my body, there's a barrier I couldn't go through. That's called the astral realm. That's another illusion. If you don't know that, you'll get sucked back up into another body. Now you know, and you was Irritan this light, because there's no such thing as death. These entities called the archons, which our African ancestors talked about 1,000 years ago. It's ancient African again. That archons feed off your energy. So what you call demonic or from the devil, these are archonic beings that created this realm of this illusion right here, right? Separate from the creator. This is another illusion created by this entity called, they call them the demiurge, Ogo. And so when they die, a light comes up. When all of us die, a light of being. You might see whatever goofy religion you believe in. So you'll see Jesus if you're a Christian, or you'll see Allah, you'll see Muhammad if you're a Muslim. They say, "Come on in. You've made it back to heaven, Irritan. Oh, we're so happy to have you, beloved." Like, wow. So you of course, your spirit like, wow, yes. Let's let you rest up so you can go back and do it again and learn a lesson. You say, well, what lesson did I learn? I don't remember nothing. Don't worry about that. Your soul is getting lessons, Irritan. And then you're thrown back another body. And the next place you're growing up in Brazil, your name is Senorita. you know, Senorita Maria, Miss Maria. You ain't know the hell Irritan was no more. That's an old life. You're Miss Maria now speaking Portuguese. But you haven't learned anything because this is a soul trap. It's nothing our ancestors taught. That yes, it's illusion, but we are in an illusionary world created by this other entity. That's where you get, this is where it gets tough. See, this is where they took your stuff and made your goofy Bibles and your goofy Islam out of. Because this entity wanted to be like God, called the demiurge. And so it created an illusionary world, but it didn't have enough light, Irritan, to create a whole galaxy. So it could only create this false, small realm, which is called our solar system. Put us up, Irritan. Say, ask Google, say, what is the definition of the demiurge? D-E-M-U-R-G-E. What's the definition of the demiurge? This is an ancient African text. The demiurge is mythology.
Alrighty. In various philosophical and religious systems, demiurge is a deity or force that creates or shapes the physical world, often in a manner inferior to a higher transcended being. Specifically, it's a craftsman or artisan who molds the material universe from pre-existing matter.
Yeah, so this was when the creator created things, almost like your devil story. He bucked the system and wanted to create his own little universe, but he doesn't have enough light, he didn't have enough power. So he created our small little reality here. as our ancient ancestors told us. He created our small and then started trapping souls. Right, so he trapped us here in his illusion, which is outside the bigger illusion here time. And so to feed our black people's energy, since you are from the all, it created other beings, meaning Caucasians, Asians, East Indians. That's why their hatred towards us. See, cause us to be sad and give emotional discharge to feed this thing, to feed the demiurge, because it was cut off from true God. Everything has energy back to the creator, Iraton. But the creator cut the demiurge off, so it has to feed on some sort of energy. So it recycles our energy, Iraton. And so to keep us in a state of low vibrational space, because it's got to feed, because when the creator cut it off, it went into a lower dimension. So it feeds off lower vibrational energy. So when you're sad, you have angst, and you're troubled, and people have hatred towards you, so it created these other beings. Okay, remember, these people just showed up every time. These are facts. You know, this is real. Caucasians are new. Asians are new. East Indians are new. Their hatred against black people keeps us in turmoil. And so our energy powers this whole matrix. So with their hate, it feeds these, what they call the archons and the demiurge. It feeds this thing because remember, they're disconnected from true source, from true all. Everything is connected back to the all. That's why I show you that spider web of the galaxy. Everything's connected back to true source, like a brain. We're in the mind of the all. All cut off this demiurge because it started creating things without permission and was throwing off the balance that the creator was creating to make everything harmonious. We're not supposed, you ever thought about everything's fucked up here? We got to kill everything. Everybody's poor and pop because it's a low vibrational thing that this thing created to feed it. So, but you won't know. But when you die, you'll go to the demiurge. You'll go to the astral realm. And you won't know that's not an illusion. Like, oh, they say, come on in, Iraton. Would you like to meet Jesus? Like, yeah, I would like to meet Jesus. Oh, so they give you a fake looking Jesus, whatever you believe in your mind, and it should say, my daughter Iraton, welcome home. Oh, hey Jesus, what's up, nigga? What's up, baby? I'm here. Well, we're gonna let you rest, and then we're gonna let you go back down to the earth. He said, but I don't want to go back down to earth. It was all fucked up. Yeah, but your soul is learning. What have I learned? I don't remember shit. Well, you're gonna remember it. Okay, doesn't matter. I'm the Lord, and I'm telling you, you're taking your ass back down. I'm the Lord, you're taking your ass back down. That's what I'm telling your ass, Iraton. Okay? Your name ain't Iraton this lifetime, ain't you? Your name is Maria, and you're going to live in Brazil. You're going to be Portuguese. You're going to be black, though. See, they can't change you for not being black because of energy. You're still going to be a black woman.
Okay.
So, yeah. We can't never be white, Iraton, because our energy, we are from the true source. So, you always get white people talking about, well, I was black in a past life. No, you wasn't. Energy knows energy. You can't go up in energy. That was never you. We can't go down in energy. So you're always gonna come back as a black person here, a black man or a black woman.
Yeah.
Huh?
I'm saying Santa Maria.
Yeah, I don't know if you're Santa Maria, but you're Maria from speaking Portuguese in Brazil. Anyway, so that's what happens. Anyway, get off this guy here. I had enough of him. Go to the last video I sent you here, Tom.
Okay. Alrighty. The last video is about which guy is that?
Last video I sent you.
It's about King J. Is that it?
Or maybe I don't know. It's the last one I sent you every time. The last video.
I'm gonna check that.
You gonna tell you how they always lie.
Alright, and welcome everybody on
I've been saying forever.
Sonic Demo. How are you doing? Martin,
Oh,
how are you doing? Jason Hill, Byron, General Mosquito. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Okay, got it. Okay, there we go.
Delusional and stuck in a psychological Stockholm syndrome where they can't let go to lie.
Yep, can they go to lies?
Will not
Right.
find a creator creates content. They can't, because their depth of, when they're getting deep, when they're supposedly truth seeking. There's no such thing as a truth seeking white person. If you find any truth seeking white person and they're not exposing white lies and exposing the truth about the original people, basically us being the original indigenous natives of this land, they're fucking lying to you. You have to ask yourself a very, very serious question. Where are the white people that were supposed to tell you about the Indians that they hired to replace us? Where are the white people talking about Septimius Severus being a black Roman emperor? And then after you say he's an emperor, you have to go back in lineages. You don't become a black emperor just yesterday within a year. Your parents and down the line and down the lineages, and then talk about his son, Caracalla, Marcus Aurelius, who they painted as white. At what point do you see any of these content creators, quote unquote, truth seekers?
They make them all white. Exactly.
What white person, where, on what platform has ever stated the words, wow, I didn't know we didn't build all these buildings that we fucking lied about. Wow, let me go talk to my dad and grandparents about this. We're going to have to change the history books. Have any of you ever heard one of these good, loving,
That's everything.
want to
Good
be
loving
on
white
your
people.
side, fighting the good fight, white people? Have you ever heard them state the words that I just said? We're doing truth around here, not that fake wannabe bullshit y'all do. The answer is no, because they're fucking frauds, because they're afraid of the truth. That's why I got to call everybody out, because y'all sit around on these fucking people's pages, clicking the like button and the content and loving what they're sharing, and they're sending you around in a fucking circle. Do you notice no matter what it is they share about the old world, they stop at the surface? Why don't y'all go beneath the surface? Why don't y'all go to the point where there's white people
Because it's
acting
black.
as if they built shit that they didn't build? Why don't y'all ever go there? Y'all never touch on that for some reason. Y'all just skip right over that. Y'all skip past all the lies and the architects and the bullshit and the construction. Y'all skip over all that. Why? Why do I have to keep pointing out that y'all the biggest liars and the biggest frauds in history, white people? Why do I have to keep pointing it out? Y'all are making me look like the bad guy when all I'm doing is telling the truth while y'all are sitting around lying and avoiding the topic. Never heard a white person utter the words, man, it's crazy how they stole all your stuff and made it seem like it was ours. And then they actually made us think that we built it. Man, this is absolutely crazy. Never once, y'all. I've never said that once. And if you've never said that, that means you're not authentic. That means you're not an honest person. That means you're not a good person. That it basically means you're shit. You're shit. The worst part is we have to deal with you children all around the entire fucking planet. Have y'all not realized that every single country, the only thing they're designed to do is hide you? All they're designed to do is hide you. This country and every country is designed to hide you. I don't even know what Israel and Palestine, what are they doing? Like those non-melanated children over there fighting over something that's not theirs. I don't even know who put them over there, who set them up, but most of the time I'm just sitting back laughing because it's like, it's a setup. It's like somebody told you was those people, and then like you believed them, and now y'all just
Yeah.
sitting over there. Listen, knock yourselves out.
All of them
The whole
imposters.
entire
They know.
planet, what y'all gonna have to understand on this entire planet is y'all are fucked. Y'all are fucked. We not fucked. We good. Y'all fucked. Y'all fucked because y'all are stuck living a lie from now until the end of eternity. You see, I'm not living a lie like you. That's why I can talk like this. You can't hop on your page and say shit that has to do with truth or real history. Why? Because it leads back to us. It leads back to me. Okay, let's read what it says right here. In history, real history, before you whitewash it, cover it up. Let's see what it says. The people potentially survived this country where the Jews, being of a middle, strong of the body, of a black complexion, of a black complexion, of a black complexion, of a black complexion.
But brother, don't take any solace in that. The Africans were forced to be these fake Jews.
So bad.
Yes, were the black people the first Jews? Yeah, but not what you think in your Bible.
You have to pull in the act. You don't have any melanin.
See,
that right there excludes you.
Pause it for a second here, Tom. Don't get caught up in this word, this fake Jew nonsense. Wasn't any Jews. Jews were created after white people invaded Egypt, Kemet, and said, make us into gods. And black people said, are you crazy? You stupid? We don't make nobody no God. You people are dumb. That's when they were down. You're telling them they were living to be 35 years old. So you people are morons. So we said, we don't make you no gods. So this is the beginning of your Bible. So they said, the Greeks say, you make us a god that will kill all you niggas. Of course, they're being violent. They got conquered. They said, okay, hold on, wait. And so this when you have, when Alexander, remember they told Alexander, the Greek, no. And then his general takes over Kemet. That's when their empire breaks up into 5 different arenas, 5 different kingdoms. And at the time, who got his general Ptolemy got Kemet, or we classified as Egypt today. And so he came and said the same thing, make us into a god. Because remember, all the religions come from Africa. They weren't religion. All the spirituality came out of Africa. This is where you start getting them taking these spiritual systems and creating religions. Because they didn't understand the system. African people, you're spiritual by nature. You knew all this stuff that white man was just saying on the video that Airtime was saying thousands of years ago. So you have Ptolemy, Philadelphus, right? That was Alexander the Great's general. He gets to take over Kemet. He's been told, make us into a god. And well, make you white people. You white people are stupid. You don't know anything. What are you talking about? You live to be 35. Make you a god. What are you talking? Are you crazy? So they get threatened. You make us a god and we'll kill every one of you. So that's when you get the Serapis, the first Christ thing. Because remember, the Africans took the spiritual system of Christos, meaning vibration going within. Christ is not a person. It's a frequency. The Christos, the energy within. So at this time, they take Ptolemy and merge him with the Christ, and it becomes your Serapis. Christ becomes later on your Jesus Christ. This is the beginning. And so they merge up, and you get Serapis Christos, being the energy of Christ, and they make this goofy white man a god, which is later on going to morph into Christianity. Okay? And then his son, and he died, the son said, make me a god too. So this is when you get the production of the Bible called the Book of 70. Book of 70 is what you call your damn, I'm having a brain fart here. Give me a second. Your Septuagint. It's called your Septuagint, the Book of 70. So they start making this The Africans start making up all this fake history to give the white people. This becomes your Old Testament. It's the beginning of all your fake stuff. Because remember, Kemet controlled what you call Palestine and Israel today back then. That was African land. And so the white people wanted these Africans to worship them. So, of course, the Africans refused, and they said, well, we'll start killing you niggas. And so you get the creation of what they call the Septuagint. This is your first Bible ever. It's the Bible being written by the African for the Greek. That's why when Iraton keeps talking about, oh, it's the ancient Hebrew, there's no ancient Hebrew. Because the first Septuagint is written in Greek. And the African created the Greek language too, because remember, the Greeks couldn't read or write, they're morons. See, this is how you gotta know honest, like the brother said. This is how you gotta know now, no real history. Not the stuff white people tell you. Everything they tell you is a lie. Lie every day, all day, 24/7 days a week. It's a lie. Lie on top, try to start learning. Lie on top of lie on top of a lie. Everything they tell you is a lie. The science is a lie. Everything for them is based on their white supremacy. So everything is a lie. If it doesn't back their white supremacy, then they just make up some nonsense. Even their science is a lie. They already got the fake evolution, the fake Einstein theories. They're all lies. And they know it's a lie, but it keeps their superiority going. Anyway, so at this time, it's called the Book of Seven. I'm every time I look this up. You guys know we look every time. It said it's the Greek version of the Hebrew that I've showed you. Unequivocally, they notice through linguistics the beginning of language. See, there's a certain thing called science of language, and the beginning of language called linguistics. Linguistics is the study and science of language, and through linguistics you can trace a language back to its beginning. So we know there was no Hebrew language. The Africans created the Greek language, and then the Africans created the Greek language to go along with this goofy religion the Greeks were making them make. Just like later on you get the goofy Arabic language to go along with the damn Islam shit. Because language binds you culturally to a certain religion. Because like Iraton just said, you're going to grow up in that culture. You're not going to quit, especially if you speak in the language of the religion. You're going to be bound to that religion. It's brilliant how it's brilliant. So here's Iraton say, I want you to put this up. Say what is the Septuagint? What is the SEP Septuagint? T-U-G-R-E-N-T?
Mm-hmm.
You got it ready? It's gonna say, now read it. It's gonna say it's the Hebrew version of the Greek or something. Now go ahead, read it.
The Greek version of the Hebrew Bible.
See, there you go. Pause it. See, the Greek version of. See, that's how it used to throw me up when I was learning. I said, "Wow, the Greek version of the Hebrew Bible." See, I didn't know linguistics yet. Of course, it threw me off because there was no Hebrew yet. Hebrew didn't exist. There was no language called Hebrew. See, this is how they try to lie. They know. So linguistically, thanks to Joseph Yehuda, who went back and did it linguistically, we know that Hebrew is Greek. Right. Ancient Hebrew comes out of Greek. So there's no Greek version of the Hebrew text, Iraton, because Hebrew comes from Greek. So how can it be a damn Hebrew version of the Greek when Greek is first? Because that's how we know this religion is being created now by the Greeks, who forced the African to make it, because there was no Hebrew text. It didn't exist. It wasn't even a Greek text. The African created the Greek language for the Greeks because they couldn't read or write, Iraton. They were illiterate. This is how all education comes from Africa. Like the black guy said, you're not going to read that. They're not going to teach you none of that. They're going to give you white people's name 100 years ago, like that dude in that video. Tell you nonsense. So we know Greek, that Hebrew comes from Greek. There's no Hebrew. This is not the Greek version of the Hebrew. That's a lie. We know that Hebrew is Greek. So we know the Greek language came first. The Africans created the Greek language first, and then they created a whole new religion, a whole new language to go with this fake religion that the Greeks were making them to make. Because remember, that's how we know it's Greek. How's it Greek? Because no, this is the first Bible. Your very first, what they call your Torah, your Old Testament, right? Being created by the African at the behest of the Greeks, making them do it, right? So Africans say, okay, we're done, but we're gonna make a whole. We're gonna make up these new people. They got to have a language. Oh, it doesn't work. People have figured out that this is fake, that this is baloney. People, the jig will be up. They figure this is phony. This is a lie. And so, put this up real quick, airtime, real quick. Say Joseph Yehuda.
Okay.
Say Joseph Yehuda. Hebrew is Greek. Now we know you couldn't get. Remember, this book used to cost you $5,000. Why it costs so much? Because they don't want you to know the truth about your goofy religion. This book, this linguistic book of this linguist, proved without a doubt that Hebrew language came from Greek. We know the Africans, the commissions created Greek and created the Hebrew. We know this without a doubt. But see, this destroys the religion. And they don't want that, so they made the book cost $5,000 to buy. You know, you ain't got no $5,000 to buy no book. Because this linguistically destroys the religion. It decimates the lie. It decimates it. So you found it every time. Say Joseph, Joseph Yehuda. Hebrew is Greek. Did you find it? What does it say? It's a book of type. Go ahead. What does it say?
It's saying Joseph Yehuda, double LB, Hebrew is Greek, prefaced by Professor Saul Levin. That's all they're giving.
Oh, so they're going to tell you what it is. They won't even define it for you. The definition. Go ahead.
This is what it's saying. Hebrew belongs to the Semitic branch of the Afro-Asiatic language family.
The African. See, so they're telling you, they're not letting you. So they just saying what it belongs to. So they're telling that, yeah, it's African. You know, it's not Asiatic. It's African. The Africans create that goofy shit. So because the Greeks wanted them to put that in their spirituality so they can understand it, but they wanted it for control as a religious thing. So the linguist, they got his name there. They're not telling you nothing about him at all.
Okay.
So what he is, he's a linguistics irritant. It means he means he's a scientist of language. So he goes back scientifically to find out where do certain languages begin. And so he found out unequivocally, that's why it's not in your Google search, because they need you with these goofy religions. He found out a shed of doubt. It can't be challenged, factually science-based, that the Greeks, who are the Comedians, who are the Africans, created the Hebrew language. It was a creation. It was not didn't know Abraham and Joseph and all these fake characters in your book create no Hebrew. It was a creation. He goes back and shows you where this has been created, Irritar. That's why the book is called Hebrew is Greek. He's showing you the Greeks created the religion called Jews, Hebrews. But fortunately, the Africans really did it, but the Greeks forced them to do it. So he's letting you know that the Hebrew is Greek, Irritar. So it wasn't no Hebrews. This is made up. That's what he proved to you. That's why so Hebrew is Greek. He's saying the Greeks created the Hebrew shit. It's a lie. Everybody in the book didn't live. It's made up. So he did it through language. The science of language, linguistically. Proving it without a shadow of a doubt. That's why that book was $5,000. Because he proved without a doubt that this is made up. This whole Judaism, you talk about your Adam and Eve and Abraham and all that shit is made up. Africans started making, but the Africans being smart, like I told you, they put some of their real knowledge in there. They said, yeah, we got to get these Greeks something. They're talking about killing our ass and they're crazy, they're stupid. This is how the Africans thought of white people. They thought they were retarded and backward and dumb. Okay? It's a fact. Africans at that time were really, really smart still. Like these white people were dumb and they said, yeah, I'm just white. They said, but look, they knew, they said later on this book is going to capture our own people. Because they could foresee at that time they were still highly evolved. They could still read into the future, so they still could, control the magnetic field and could see future events. So they knew, they said, somewhere along the line, this book is going to capture our own people. And they're like, what? Said, so we got to put some real truth in this. And they're smart enough, whoever reads it, they'll be smart enough to catch what's real and what's not. So we're going to put some real truth. We're going to put some what they call esoteric, inner knowledge. I told you God resides within. So it's called inner knowledge. I said we're going to put some real esoteric knowledge into the rest of this garbage we're going to make up. But who's ever reading, whose mind is captured, they're going to come across it, and it's going to touch their vibrational soul. And they're going to get the truth from all the lies. They'll be able to glean some of what's real inside this book that we're making up, this nonsense we're making up. Right? The book of Septuagint. They're making it up every time, but they're going to put some real shit in there. That's why the Bible has some real shit. The Old Testament has some real African science in there, but if you don't know African science, you won't know what it is. They said, they're going, most of it is garbage, made up nonsense. They gave them whole fake lineage, some dude named Abraham, and God tell him to sacrifice his child, all that nonsense shit. It's all made up. African made all that shit up to please the Greeks. Remember, the Greeks invade Kemet. Put us up here, Tom.
Okay.
So I'm gonna give you a time period. Say, okay. We got like 10 more minutes to go. I'll say what year did the Greeks invade Egypt? Invade Kemet. So we put a time period on this. Was it 325 BC?
What year did the Greek invade Kemet?
You say Kemet or Egypt, either one. Same thing.
Yeah. I like the
word. 325 BC?
332.
Okay, I'm wrong. So I'm 7 years off. Okay, so 332 BC, the Greeks invade Kemet. And of course, that's the end of the African Empire. They take it over. And white people taking it over. So this is the time when you start getting the damn fake Jesus thing created, the Christos, and you get the Hebrew text being created by the Greek into Hebrew. Remember, Greek, that's why Greek is Hebrew. That's how you know they invaded Africa, Iraton. And so Greek is Hebrew. So the Africans are being threatened. Iraton, you better make me a goddamn god and make some manuscripts. I'm going to chop your fucking head off. You understand me? You're like, what? What are you talking? I'm going to chop your damn head off. Now, you better get to work. so you decide not to get your head chopped off every time. So you decide not to get your head chopped off. So I want you to understand the time. See how the Greeks come into Africa, and then you see Hebrew is Greek. That's why the Greeks are the ones writing the damn, through the African, making what you call your Old Testament. That's why Hebrew is Greek. The Greeks the Greeks couldn't read or write. It's the Africans. They created the Greek language, and then they created this Hebrew language. So we know that the Hebrew comes out of the Greek language, Eric. That's why the book is telling you Hebrew is Greek. Okay? Then they create all these elaborate stories. And remember, at the time that you see today, them white people there today, they weren't there at that time. Them white people you see today, as this guy's laughing, calling themselves Jews and Palestinians, that's a lie. Those are Africans there. So the Africans were now forced to adopt this religion called Judaism that you see the Greeks were making. That's why you got Africans running around, we were the first Hebrews, we're Hebrews. not knowing that the religion is made up. Yeah, you're the first Hebrews, but it was made up. You were forced to be that by the Greeks. See, they don't understand that you were forced to. The Greeks came in and said, all you niggas are going to worship us. They just begin to worshiping the white people every time. They came in and said, we want to be worshipped. You black people don't, we want you niggas to worship us. Everybody got people that don't know real history. Oh, the blacks are the original Hebrews, the blacks are the Jews. Yes, you are, but it's still fake. They still think it's real. It's still fake. Morons, it's still fake. Yes, you're the original made-up Hebrews that the Greeks created. Yes, I really forced you to take. They forced you to accept this religion that they were making up. Hebrew is Greek, Eraton. So they had the African priests make up all this goofy nonsense. They knew the Greeks were stupid, so they can make. That's why you got. There was, the Africans, right? There was slavery in their own land. They know there was no slavery in Kemet ever, but that's in your goofy book. They write all kind of crazy made up shit in there. Imagine the Africans as they write and is laughing because they know the people that conquered them are stupid. The Greeks are illiterate. They're the savage, the barbarians. So they're more vicious. The Africans kind of love. So imagine the Africans writing all this made up nonsense and giving it to the damn Greeks. Here you go. I gave you a new religion. You're a god now. Imagine they laughing and joking, but to the laughing and joking of creating this nonsense, it did put some real knowledge in it. There's some real knowledge in that Bible. But if you don't know African science, you don't know what you're looking at. They said our people are going to be forced to be in this book, and those that are waking up will find out the truth that we put up in this book. Because the Bible's not complete all garbage. The majority is garbage, but there are some real stuff in it, some real spiritual knowledge, and that's why the Bible is what? Contradictory. It's contradictory. Some things don't make sense. God says he's going to kill everybody, and the guy's loving. What's going on? Is this guy a psychopath? Because people don't know when the Africans were writing this book, they were talking about the Greeks. The Greeks were the gods. The Greeks so obviously the Greeks told them their campaigns who they conquered. So if you guys know real history, go back and read the early Genesis and those first 3 books, right? They call them the books of Moses, which a lot of never nobody named no Moses. It's another made up nonsense. Go read the campaigns of the Greeks and the first books, and they're gonna match together. So the Greeks obviously forced the Africans to tell those stories and say God told them to do it when they were killing everybody in villages and wiping people out. Those were actual Greek campaigns, war campaigns, but they want them to say that it was a tribute to this God, right? That God did it and told these Hebrews to do it. Were no Hebrews, they did not exist. These are Greek campaigns of conquest that you'll be reading. But if you knew real history, you would know that. That's why the Bible don't have no dates on the dates are all messed up. Because it's not history, it's made up. But I'm sure the Greeks made the Africans, as I went through understanding, put a lot of their conquest in that. Because I started knowing real history, I said, that's the Greeks right there. That's when the Greeks did this. That's all these battles I've seen, these are all the Greeks. Because I knew real history. I said, these are the Greeks. And then when I finally understood and I got to know that Hebrew is Greek, I was like, motherfucker. I got your ass. Motherfucker. Hebrew is Greek. So half the stuff they're still forcing, and Africans writing all kind of goofy shit up in there, but those campaigns, the Greeks are forcing them to write and saying that calling themselves a god, and God is making these Hebrews wipe out everybody, and God is doing this, and God. That's them. That's their military campaigns. Go back and get Alexander the Great and his campaigns. You're going to see it matches up with all those early campaigns in the Bible. Word for word. City for city. You're like, motherfucker. This is them writing about the Greek campaigns. goddamn Hebrew is Greek. I got your ass. I got it. Got that ass. Got it. But it takes a lot of time and learning to put all this together. It took me years to put all this nonsense, these lies together. But we're gonna wrap it up, guys. It's about time for Airtime to get out of here. Read the last comments, Airtime, before we get out of here.
Alrighty. Let my people go. Jibber Jabber. And then
That's for Airtime. Let my people go, Airtime.
also we do have Will Grant and Bark to communicate, like the trip to the moon. That's Byron's card. And then we do have that's the story of the devil falling from heaven to earth because he thought he was more powerful than God.
Yeah, that's your see, that's what they put. Those are what they call your missing books of the Bible. Remember, the Africans wrote the truth. They went. So, if you go get some called the Nag Hammadi text, that's what I do tomorrow with Airtime.
Okay.
We'll go through the Nag Hammadi text. Remember, they cut to the church. When the church came into fruition, they started killing all the ancient Africans who tell the truth. They start killing them and wiping them out. The Africans say, "Hey, man, you can't make this fake religion." Said, "We will and we ain't. And you don't comply, we're going to murder your ass." So remember when they started making Christianity, Africans say, "You can't be making no man, no Christ. The Christ is everybody. Christ is vibration. You lift your knowledge. Everybody's a Christ." And nah, that don't control nobody. Get out of here. You know, they're looking at it.
Martin is saying, "Hey Keith, where did Latinos come from? And Latino people are they from God like us? I think them and the Puerto Ricans."
Are they from what like us?
I cannot read what he really said, but I think he said, "Are they God like us?" Maybe that's what he said.
No, unless they're black. You got to define Latino. Black Latinos. See, you want to talk about an African Latino? That's an African that speaks Spanish.
He said,
I'm an African. Like I'm an African that speaks English. No, I don't know. You got to tell me which one. Are you talking about Afro Latinos? What Latinos are you talking about? You talking about Afro Latinos or what? Huh?
He said Puerto Rican.
No. Let's say black. Now you can be black and grow up in Puerto Rico. That'll make Puerto Rican is a nationality. It's not a race. We're talking about a race of people. You gotta understand. See, people talking about nationality has nothing to do with your race. You got white Puerto Ricans. You got black Puerto Ricans. What ones are we talking? The black Puerto Ricans, yes. White, no. So we can't say Puerto Rican. We gotta say African people. Just because I'm black and I speak English, I'm not an Englishman. You know, Jim Mosquito speaks English. He lives in England. He's not British. He's not an Englishman. He's an African living in England. I'm an African living in America. So tell me which one you're talking about, Martin. Is a black person living in Puerto Rico and then classifies himself as a Puerto Rican, then yes. But if he's mixed and white, no. If he's Afro, you mean Afro Latino, right? Like African that speaks Spanish. That is an African that speaks Spanish or African that speaks Portuguese. All right? African, I mean black African. Okay? Not a African, an African. If you're black, yes. No, we're not talking about your nationality. Are the Mexicans? Hell no. That's that Hebrew Negro like nonsense they keep telling you. They have ammo. Listen, I'll make it real clear for you. If your hair don't stand up like a plant, then it ain't you. If you don't got an afro, you can't grow black hair, your hair ain't black, then it ain't you. That's what I mean. Okay?
Jibber Jabber is saying, "Please pull up the huge pine cone statue in front of the Vatican."
Vatican, yeah, the pine cone, the pineal gland. Yeah, they know it. Exactly. The pine cone ran in front of the damn statue. Ain't no ancient time the African symbolized the pineal gland as the pine cone. They've stolen everything. That like they don't know. Yeah, right in front of the Vatican is a big old pine cone right there.
Right. Jason Haley saying, "It's places called the unknown in the universe. The Anunnaki can't even get close to without issues."
No, they don't vibrate high enough. They're not, and they did a lot of they're the ones that exist. They did a lot of effed up shit. So now,
Dibber Dabber, it's impossible for the owl to be an ignorant entity. Makes no sense.
exactly, they were saying. That's what they were saying. And all didn't know what he was doing. He's just sleeping, all sleeping. How you know they're all sleeping? Where you been at to know they all was sleeping? This is white man crazy talk. Because they don't have a spiritual bone in the body because their pineal glands were, as Google said, 61%. And not all of them, though. But yeah, they got calcified pineal gland. So they don't have a spiritual center. As African, we're spiritual by nature. So that's why we can be corrupted by fake religion like Christianity, Islam, because we're spiritual by nature. We're spiritual by nature, whether we like it or not. We're directly connected to the all. So we can be seduced with fake religions because we need some kind of spiritual center. You gotta be able to see God in a thing, the creator in a thing for us, because we're connected that much back to the creator, because the creator is us and lives inside us. We're one and the same. So that's why there's no hell if you decide to be a Christian and none. That's just your journey right now. You'll end up coming out of it how many lives it takes. You're not going to go into any hell. Where's hell? He has any more. Where's this mythical hell at then? How do you burn a non-physical being? You know, critically think. Their minds are so captured with nonsense. If you go to this hell place and you're not living and you're a soul or spirit, how do you burn a non-physical being? Somebody said, yeah, well, huh? Yeah, somebody thinks like, what? Yeah, I don't know, but if you're not physical, this goopy book is saying that you're gonna burn, right? Okay. How do you burn how do you burn a ghost, a non-physical being? See how your religion is stupid? See how you're not critically thinking? You just listen and copy and paste. You're not thinking. Go there, Ty. Go ahead and finish up.
Alrighty, I think that's it. The last one is from Byron. Where was that? Just a moment. Okay, at Keith, Carl Sagan was the one telling that lie about the Dogon people at some French archaeologists, which
that was them. Yeah, the Dogon. He was upset because they couldn't figure out how the Dogon knew where Sirius B was at. Because Africans could leave their bodies. It had to be a European. How can a European know about it and you don't know about it? It was known in Europe. You didn't know it. You had no telescopes to know anything about what the universe even looked like. You didn't know it. So, and then remember, the Dogon were told to shut their fucking mouth. Remember, they got Dogon tribes all throughout. They're in Mali, and we know they come out of Kemet. They left Kemet when the Greeks invaded. That's one group of Africans who left when the Greeks invaded. The Dogon left and moved out to West Africa. So we know we got them in Togo, we got them in Benin, Mali, and other parts. And so when they were telling white people shit, the other Dogon said, "You better shut your goddamn mouth. You don't share this knowledge with these beasts at all." They were told they better shut their mouth. Just like the damn shamans in Africa. Shut your mouth. Let these people go and die off. No real knowledge of these people. You got your mind, they'll kill everybody on the planet. You shut your damn mouth. That's why they told that they can't talk to. They know the African is asleep right now. Like a real shaman can be sitting on the bus with Irtan, and they say Irtan 2 years ago. Irtan, shaman asked Irtan, "How you doing today, sister?" "Oh, I'm just going to see Jesus." He said, "Oh, can't talk to her ass." And they told Dr. Mummy, because Dr. Mummy was all in that Jesus shit. They put her to the side. They said, "Sister, let me tell you how things really work." Because Dr. Mummy was 10 times worse than Irritan with that shit. Dr. Mummy got rid of all that Jesus nonsense when some shaman pulled her to the side. But they know you're too dangerous, and you'll go run your mouth. Tell people where they at. You're too dangerous. You're too stupid to confide in. At the mind of a child. So the shamans are just underground right now. Like, see, all this information is still in Africa. It hasn't left. Like with the Dogon, they were told to shut up. Like you said, white man was like, had to be some European that came along and taught these African, these dumb niggas how, because they found out later when they got a telescope that was up there, how that it was Sirius B up there. There had to be some European. This how fucked up in the head these people are. Now messed up. Had to be some European that came along hundreds of years ago and taught the Dogon how the universe works. And then when they told the white people, they said, you better shut your mouth. The other Dogon, the other people, the shamans, told those Dogon people, you better shut your goddamn mouth. Shut your mouth. You don't tell these people nothing. Go ahead, Airtime. That's the end.
Yeah, as you're almost winding up. Literally, we're winding up right there. That's the last comment from Jason Hill. The Dogon tribes do a scientific dance every 25,000 years too.
Yeah. It's a Sigi. It's called the Sigi ceremony. It let us know when Airtime was showing the before we go, Airtime, just pull us up real quick. Say, what is the Sigi ceremony of the Dogon? So what it is, it's when Sirius A or B, whatever. They start doing the dance every 63 years. It represents us going to another closer age, going back towards Sirius, or going away from it. That dog star. How you spell Sigi ceremony, guys? Sigi. S-I-G-A-E. Sigi. Let me ask Google.
The Dogon ceremonies are a vibrant part of their culture, often involving mass dances and rituals that honor ancestors and mark key cosmological events, like the Dogon Sigi ceremonies.
Yeah, the Sigi. So the Sigi ceremony is cosmology. Cosmology is the cosmos, the stars. So it's the mapping of Sirius and what age we're in. See, this is all known. This white man want to give, these white people 200 years ago made it up. This goes back 1,000 years ago. The Dogon left Kemet 2,300 years ago. They left when they said they left when Alexander came in there. And they moved. Remember, and remember the reason why they just keep the truth. They act like savage. Remember, they said when the Christian missionaries came, they act savage. And when the Islam missionaries came to change Islam, they act savage. And the people said, these people are too savage to be Christians. They're too savage to be Muslims and shit. So that's why they say they was able to keep their traditions when the white man came with the missionaries and the Islam came with they act savage towards them. Much love, guys.
Much love. Have a good one.